In this video, I'll teach you how to target the customers of your competitors. Now, it's important to mention that you should only do this if it makes sense. So first of all, if you're selling TVs and then your competitor already sold them a TV, then it doesn't make sense because they're not gonna buy another one. A second reason would be if your product is much better and you can show that it's better in various ways, maybe you did something very cool and innovative, then it makes great sense to target your competitors. And of course, in many fields, customers just buy more than one brand. Like for example, in education, if you're selling courses, targeting your competitors might be very good. And also it kind of makes sense in a lot of other industries. So to do this, we need to create ourselves a new campaign. We will go with conversions, of course, because we want to make more sales, and give it a name. I'll call this one competitors. And that's pretty much everything that we need so far. And the interesting part comes in here. Of course, we want to be making purchases. Ignore that setup of the Facebook pixel. And you definitely want to target your country correctly, because your competitors might have customers in different countries, and so the country will be very restrictive, or any type of location targeting will restrict your audience to just the location that you select here. So in this case, I will just target Europe. Well, that's the custom audiences. Sorry, guys. Europe and the United States. Or I could just, yeah, Europe and United States is fine for demonstration purposes. So let's say that you go over here to the detailed targeting options. And sometimes this is only going to work for the bigger competitors, or at least the ones who are bigger on social media. Like if you search for Coca-Cola, they will be here, definitely. But if you search for some smaller brands or some up-and-coming brands, or some local competitors, they might not show up here. So let's just start with, for example, one of our competitors is Udemy. And we can see that there is a Udemy as a school and university. So those are people who are definitely studying in Udemy, and they even kind of put that as their school or university on Facebook. So this will be a very detailed targeting, but it's just 16,000 people, so it's not that big. But as you can see here, we have 22 million. And obviously I selected a very large area of land. That would be Europe and United States. That's about 800 and something million people. So it's normal that a lot of them are interested in Udemy. But let's say that your competitor is not that big, right? Maybe there's someone smaller. So for example, a good competitor of mine might be, let's say, an influencer like Tai Lopez. And for some reason I can't. Yeah, and or maybe he's Tai Lo. Well, let's say, yeah, we get this case where you can't find your competitor over here. So the next best option that you have is to go ahead and close this. And what you need to do is go here to the audience insights. Let's see where they are. There they are. So inside of audience insights, you want to select everyone on Facebook. And in this case, just for demonstration purposes, I will use the United States. You want to leave your ages and gender open for this exercise. In your targeting, you can set them, but here you want to leave them open because you want to find as much information as possible. And so here, maybe you can find whoever you are searching for, right? Or let's say Guy Ritchie is going to do the job for this. Let's say that we are targeting movie lovers here, and Guy Ritchie is our reference. So here you're much more likely to find someone who is your competitor. In this case, I've selected Guy Ritchie, but if that's not your fancy, like I can select, let's say, Udemy or Udacity, and select that over here. So let's just go with Udemy for this example. Sometimes you just really need to go through all three to figure out which is the interest. Now this is very interesting. So here in the demographics, you can find a bit more information about what they are likely to be. And this can be useful if your campaign is really not reaching the goals that you want to reach. You can take a look at this and see like 56% of these people, they're much more likely to be married, for example, and they are significantly more likely to have gone to university or postgraduate or have a postgraduate degree. So in this case, and you can see that it's people in high school are not good targeting options. So you might want to exclude that to kind of improve the performance of your campaign by just targeting better. So you might be adding these options to some of your targeting options. So here you can also see like different job titles that they can have. So for example, IT and technical services, computation and mathematics, and so on. But the really interesting part is here in the page likes. Here you can actually find the affinity scores. So for example, people who like Udemy's page are 75 times more likely to like Daily OM. And then what you need to do is open that up, check what it is, see if it's relevant, and it could be something that you might want to target. Here you can also discover other influencers and so on. And if they are very wide, so maybe you're not targeting very well. So let's say that Udemy doesn't do the job because it's too broad. They teach too many things. Let's think of a competitor. Let's try Udacity. Now this is the education, so that's not gonna do the job, and we need to find them again. as local business. And here it is. Now, this is a much more targeted, even though smaller audience, it's much more targeted. And so, as you can see, obviously they are 700 times more likely to like Udacity, but you can see here all the rest, like Coursera, edX, Khan Academy, MIT Technology Review, TechCrunch. All of these would be very good potential targeting options that you can use. Of course, some will be irrelevant, but a lot of these might be very, very targeted options. So, for example, in this case, Coursera, edX, and so on could be potential targeting options that I might use. Now, of course, let's say we think of edX. So people who like Udacity are 90 times more likely to like edX. And so that makes them a better than most targeting options. But sometimes you have to be a bit careful because you can end up targeting competitors who are not really doing only what you're doing, right? So they might have a wider range of services or offerings or products and so on. So let's say, for example, that you are creating a new and innovative product for, beards. And so let's say that Philips is your competitor. Philips does a lot of stuff. So it's probably not going to be as good. So you want to be targeting the more direct competitors. And here you can also see like how many people are liking their page. And so, and kind of what's the audience around them. So you can see kind of an estimate of what kind of audience you can get over here. And once you go through this process over and over again, so let's say that now we take a look at Udacity. You want to make notes of these. Let's go with Coursera now. And this is the education, so that's not going to do the job. Probably going to be this one. Not. Did I select that one twice? So then that's what we're going to end up. Yeah, the additional interest. And as you can see here, we can find some others, like LinkedIn Learning is a good example that we didn't see in the previous one. Maybe TEDx could also be a good one. And this can also kind of show you certain other interesting interests that you might find very, very good. And it can also show you like in what ways does that targeting option differ from your own business. So for example, a lot of people who are interested in Coursera, for example, are also interested in Udacity and the Points Guy and Lifehacker and PBS, so that there might be more interested in scientific stuff, PBS, Wired, Spotify. Well, Spotify is kind of a random thing, but Forbes, and you can see here Dr. Michio Kaku, so people interested in physics. Big Think is another one. Bill Nye, the Science Guy, all very awesome, but not maybe very relevant. Or they could potentially be very relevant. So if you, on the other hand, build a significantly sophisticated persona, you can actually combine a lot of these interests and say, if someone is interested in, let's say, LinkedIn Learning, TEDx, Khan Academy, Wired, PBS, Entrepreneur, and so on. This is a guy that's interested in learning a lot. So that might be my customer as well. So maybe sometimes the combinations of these things can also help you pull out very precise targeting options. But the best way to target your competitors' customers is to find them as an interest. And if you don't, you can put them here and find other pages that are related to them. And you can also sometimes try to put their entire like their Facebook page name and find them this way. So yeah, that's pretty much how you target your competitors, and make sure to show in your ads how you're better than your competitors. And it's really a good idea, if you're going to target competitors, to have a better offering than them and kind of have a better value proposition, right? So that's how you target competitors.